stops or walk you to your door. You say goodnight like 1,000 times before. This is the night I just want you to know. This is the night I just can't let you go. Why should we wait until tomorrow? Why should we wait until tomorrow? Well, I can't wait until tomorrow. I need you tonight.
Yarat ish the ne harohada kesgi hodoya the nebenant Dr. Boo Nygren hojana hujisho Thursday 1:05:30 hada kesgi aita August 8 honayos khas hodoya sabogan hodzanda khanen kichle haroha reshim khataso kesgi yat in kidini the haroso le the nebeke bakat khad shah itada le son-in-law asiyego hotaho beholniho kad stadin khahotso benant an lenigi secretary labor Julie Sue led the neta initigido behes ani da bakahota inishigi AI yisi kedes ingin khaniya Tuba City de aroso arisa the nebeskeda doshni on you yat eda hidi dirigi yahadole aroso masanido change no chiyan yat ebdini the Jody family of Cal Springs, Arizona yat en gedini dole tanda hil sanigi arohodoshi hatojish. Every year the Navajo Nation faces public safety concerns. To ensure the safety of our Navajo people, we changed the route of the Navajo Nation parade. In previous years, police officers and EMTs struggled to respond to emergencies due to extreme congestions caused by the parade route on US 264. Using Indian Route 12 for the parade route allows for 2 response routes for our first responders. Also, traffic near the fairgrounds will be drastically reduced. This new route is best for the safety of our families. In 12 Satanahon Lasem Pininachi, where Salado, Zail Indan Linigi, where Skinslo, Dahido, Naso, Heda Bacado, was do, Shinias do, Sani the Bacado was at Nenegi. AI Yesebansa, case of Beninachi, Ihone, those Nishodo, Nido, Ishi Bedas Nitole. In 12, going south to north, Dole. Upcoming holidays or appreciation days. Tomorrow is International Day of World Indigenous People. There's 476 million indigenous people in the world who live in 90 countries. Local announcements. Missing Navajo people reports to the Navajo Police Department this week. Talon Minigoats was last seen Friday, August 2nd. Navajo Pine Teacher House. He's 5'8", 185 pounds. If you have any information, call Windrock Police Department 928-871-6111. From Tuba City District, 40-year-old Nathaniel Dohun Ngo was last seen Monday, July 22nd. Tuba City Regional Healthcare. She's 5'3", 130 pounds. If you have any information, call Tuba City Police Department 928-283-3111. A message from our Department of Health: reduce your exposure to smoke when wildfires create smoky conditions. It's important to take steps to reduce exposure to smoke, both indoors and outdoors. This is especially crucial for children, older adults, and people with heart or lung disease. Here are some tips. Stay inside, limit your time spent outdoors, use high-efficiency filter for your air conditioners, turn on a portable air cleaner, reduce indoor air pollution, drink plenty of water. For more information and local forecasts of air quality, go to airnow.gov. A message from the Division for Children and Family Services: as summer heat sets in, staying hydrated is essential. Water sustains and nourishes us, preventing dehydration, which can cause fatigue, dizziness, and heart stroke. Carry a water bottle. Encourage regular water intake. Check on vulnerable individuals. Together, we stay strong and healthy. Water is life. Together, we thrive. Navajo life lesson. Everyone says discipline is so important. It is the strongest form of self-love. It's ignoring something you want right now for something better later on. Discipline reveals the commitment you have to your dreams. The future you depends on the current you to keep the promises you made to yourself yesterday. Our language and teachings emphasize the concept of Hajan, a state of harmony and balance. Achieving Hajan requires discipline in our thoughts and our actions and interactions with others. By staying committed to our goals and maintaining balance in our lives, we honor the promises we make to ourselves and contribute to the well-being of our community. Yesterday, Secretary of Labor Julie Sue came to the Navajo Nation Nation to increase collaborative efforts. Here, community members had the opportunity to meet a federal labor representative at the highest level. I spoke for the need to have better statistics to support our labor initiatives. Job creation is essential for a strong economy and healthy families. The Navajo Nation Workforce Development Office, funded by the U.S. Department of Labor, was on site to say their efforts in helping people find careers, gain education. I signed an MOU with the University of Arizona to strengthen our public health initiatives. U of A will work with the Navajo Epidemiology Center to process data related to the COVID-19 pandemic. This will allow us to identify risk factors and increase our preparedness at the community level. We need to be prepared in the event of future outbreaks so we can keep our people safe. We want to understand how factors such as our language, socioeconomic conditions, and lack of access to water and electricity impact the health of our Dene. I approved and signed a new business site lease agreement for Giant Four Corners in Newcomb, New Mexico. The 450 people who live in Newcomb and tourists passing through the local area will now have access to gas and basic groceries. The business will offer employment opportunities and provide essential goods. Students at Navajo Prep can now move into their brand new dormitory. We allocated $3 million from the Shihasen Fund to Navajo Preparatory for their new dormitory that opened on Monday. This was a project in the making that started as a dream for Shauna Becenti, the head of school at Navajo Prep. This new residence hall allows 32 new students to join Navajo Prep for their advanced education. Contractors took the job to install a safe and sustainable student home that nurtures the Navajo culture so that students feel safe and healthy. Major projects we're working on: Navajo Nation Telecommunications and Regulatory Commission Office and Navajo Nation Broadband collaborate with NNDIT to establish first ever GIS database hosted by a tribe. The two programs work together to bring a Navajo GIS contractor on board to establish a comprehensive collection of both public and protected land information. The GIS, Geographical Information System, data includes information about broadband and wireless cellular coverage across the Navajo Nation or areas where more information is needed or service is lacking. The programs are also ensuring that the information is protected by tribal sovereignty by working with Navajo Nation DIT. This is a capacity building project that allows all stakeholders to focus on reducing the costs associated with maintaining the database and building interdepartmental data sharing best practices and policy. The Navajo Nation Department of Transportation works to be more collaborative with New Mexico and Arizona on road needs. Navajo DOT presented to the New Mexico Indian Affairs Committee at Navajo Technical University on July 31st. The legislators expressed concerns about the time it takes to get compliance clearances. We hope to gain support from our local legislators to build road maintenance yards. To further road projects in Arizona, we hosted an ADOT partnership meeting. Assistant Secretary Teller, multiple ADOT officials, and numerous county officials provided their input. ADOT committed to training INDOT employees to enhance technical capacity. The Navajo Nation Division of Economic Development is working to find permanent placing for the Shiprock Flea Market. The Shiprock RBDO office is working to set aside 6 acres next to the Natani Nez building. To make this flea market more friendly to the community, they are refining a $200,000 contract to put in gravel pavement for the market. This will help keep the fine dust on the ground while people enjoy their visit to the flea market. DED looks forward to making more investments in tourism facilities. Once the flea market is completed, they hope to have these plans completed before the Northern Navajo Fair starts giving our artisans a place to sell their jewelry and crafts. The Division of Family and Children is working to be culturally and religiously inclusive of all Navajo families through a weekend of prayer. This past Friday, we started the process to host prayers across the Navajo Nation on behalf of the Navajo people. We worked with medicine men to offer prayers at each of our 4 sacred mountains and prayer services by pastors, ministers, and others. In our culture, we often believe that every so often we need to renew the prayers and the protection over our Navajo people. We offered these prayers so as a nation we can protect ourselves and bring ourselves onto a good pathway. Collectively, we want the best for our people. Meet and greets. The 56th annual Ehani Day. Ehani Day was originally called Pioneer Days. Below Navajo Mountain every year in August, families partake in events like a trek from Narrow Canyon trail riding, and watermelon eating contests. This year, Hank Stevens and others who put on the event wanted to honor stories from each family. This brought together our younger and older generations to talk about history and ancestors who fought for us to be here today. At the end of the event, I got to meet with our people to hear directly about their concerns. Thank you to Ella and Morgan Farrell, Andy Deschy Jr., Melvina Begay, Jasmine Talasoyuse, Harriet Yazzie, Charles Yazzie, Frank Whitehat Jr., Delphine Goodman, Janelle Sosi, Laura Tallman, Sina Donnell, Gwenda Yazzie, Marlene Whitesinger, and Terry Singer for bringing your concerns to me and the others that I met that day talking with all of you. Upcoming events, 102nd Annual Gallup Intertribal Ceremonial and Night Parade and performances. This annual event brings creative artists, dancers from across the globe. We'll have artists who will showcase their work in competitions and come sell their work to everyone. They'll also showcase competitions and events like Five Braid Pan Toss, the Hide Race. There are so many events to take part in and enjoy, from the Miss Intertribal Ceremonial Competition, the 5K Run, powwows, song and dance, and even a skate competition. These events highlights indigenous tribes and their cultures from around the world. The First Lady and I will be at the Night Parade and also on Saturday. I will be meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz tomorrow. They will be visiting Arizona, a critical swing state in the upcoming presidential election happening on Tuesday, November 5th. This week, they have visited Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Nevada, and now it's Arizona's turn. It is important to emphasize the Navajo vote in this next election. The Navajo Nation makes up a large portion of Arizona's population. This is a key opportunity to ensure that presidential candidates understand the needs of our people. Register to vote at www.vote.gov. Next week, we honor Navajo Code Talkers. Navajo Code Talker Day is August 14. We honor and proudly remember our Navajo Code Talkers who used our Denebazad to fight for the United States in our home between the four sacred mountains. Join us as the Navajo Nation Fairgrounds here in Window Rock, where we will be connecting homeless and at-risk veterans and their families with essential community services such as federal VA benefits, housing support services, employment services, haircuts, pet food and pet care services, and much more. Last week, Director Bobby Ann Baldwin and Deputy Director Olin Kiyomi worked with the Sparrow Group to renovate our oldest Code Talkers home, John Kinsel Sr. My administration is working hard to help our Navajo Code Talkers, and I know we'll continue to honor them and their families. Washington do da se yego the neda the quigo sha se yego but the hos nehingi beninache ha you peso dan kiche honda ingi beninache hoda the nebe ke ob kauda da galoda beninache ape ya hodan zino beninache lede na nishta hike nada ha kauda di da hat oh the neke da beninache lauda peso bich nada di nilha noda hoda enigi aro sobata inishigi da highlight ola njono kishinda di national Washington do ha the nebe ke ob ka nikhelon khanda nishigin khan dal roda beninache apa hazin en honela da dit o the nebeche na hot dit o the nena nishchi hadin khahigida hoda enigi da ba yelt nidi belagana kachalo sonle hotta hoda al khahigida sa an hidden edan loda len da al khada Dr. Carletta, Chief, University of Arizona da liada di yesem de kosensan khan niye beninache khait ola al cheda lil nil khada hona hot zaudat ohni da hinil idol khanoda da al khahida nal sos bela selegi da hotta hoda al khai University of Arizona do an khwan khas anigi Department of Health hajo el khilna an nishton da al khado beninache nal sos do da khada de liago dit o bits ado da hil hat noda hoda enigi da ba yelt ado son le keya da khada hot zoigi le thoda in da khagida New Mexico where the UK da tenlata bijitan za di nide ko in ha khai Hagilan Nadot Alban Kilahojoro Lano, Ashon Kaya Bahazoigi, Belas, Lido Kaya, Pichotol, Le Giant Four Corners, but Nenegi Hotoshin Jono Haushi, Shado Casto, Toina, Kaigin Jono, Nit, Anwa, the Naked had Enigido, Wada Pelagana, the Quigo Shinchid, so the Nedab Tada, the Jagin, the Isnio Beninache, in Altra, the Nebeke of Kaya, Nain, Dehoda, Yat Eto, Wada, Toina, Kahida, the Nedil Nation, Kayat, the Inishto, the Nenda Isnio, in Altra, Nain Deo, Joishi Olia, Nazi Lid Ben, Kito Jigi, Belagana, Catch sovereignty, and a hin get a deal to the Nebeke of a cow, and here did oim, Yat Eto later, Florida than Jagada, Dit or White the Neda papers now just now. Show hey, and here what okay, the not idle, Nora, Beninache, Ayo, Jono, Bansaha, KCAZ, Kisiada, they are also only Calchinda, na kids at that, Yos Kaigida, Navajo prep, the Quigos in Jono, base of Holia, 3 million, the Neba Washington, which Holia don't, your Toja How, Zoja, 7 million ye Lodo, Ewa Kenyat, Eonit, and when Calchin, Yinada Baganda, the Ado Beninache, Jono, Nada, Ostad, Lenasti, Descam, to Navajo prep, Becaho, Ege Descard, not Anita, but no Ehoto, Jono, and can be who Nilo, in Calchin, Yat Eoida Baganda, in Jono Nit, Asto, E Kushina, Hedo, Bayat, and the He, base of Holiado, Asana, Hedgen, Jono, Nil, Ehot, Enigi, a Yobash, Hojon, did the Quito Bayat, Kushina, Head, as Neho, a Yo, Ben, Kesiada Hot, Eto, the Neba Washington, Yat, Nishigis, Hot, Ishin, Jono, the Horoba Yashtio, the San Jonia, and Nehi, the Neba Washington, Dito, a big habit that, and the Nasco is Tayo Aho, Yat Eho, Daha Atha, no the adult on the host to how Jodrido, your Toja, How Georgia, Tinikita days in Yaron, Kislo, the Neba Washington, the Lange, Shadas, Tahagi Tom Patero, a Hissen that has now, Halet Ola Joanit in an Hinke at Hin, Hot Obanza case, a Yat Etolit, another, but the hot Agin Hilat, adult only torture flea market, the Kushinache, see Yegon, Asado Anache, that is Kaleda Adohe, the Netonana Kato, on a Ranjan lay subway big hobby last sleep, Kade Halet Olan Jono, Abahazin, Nalsos Hadadod, Nito Abahazin, Base of Sabachodod, Nito Yat Eho, why the Nebanda in Nihon Yat Eto, the snow, Eto, but the Honit, Aroson Haschinda, see Yego, Banza case, and Lee child support, Nenegi, Heshin, Mado Janat, Nishoda, Alchinda, Doya Haldia, the base of Johodal on. Eto Yadolith, why the Neba Washington, Ben Das Nishioto, proclamation Hadish Slagon, Jono, Distan, Hehon, Need, Gadazet, Hati, Nache, Bede, Nil Nishuk, and the Hasi, Hen Higi, Hot Obani, Nashabanade, Need Long, Mado, Jajin, the Okangi, where Peso Chicago was Nenegi, but the Need Long, Bacanade, no, not so Sadilia, Aro, Stohogen, Division of Social Service, and Jono, Thomas Cody, so the Zen Bent, the neck etch and Jono, and late Ziltis and Neligi, Aren't, listen that the Neslo had the Neba Washington, but so that is Zilhanigi, as the Agis, by hit and needs and John Hair, the Nate Linigi, Beninach, the dish at the Downit, Lonigidon, Hazard, at the Payadale, Tigin, Kisiat, Aro, Stonely, Halneda, Besnada, Agido, Halneda, Beninach, the Garbazad, Nepal, Nadot, Asigi, Eso is Coundo late Friday, Aro Saturday, where Veterans Park in Hahidoka, Nepal, Train, Alto, the Garbazad, those Sindadits, Satso, those Zintan of Sonshilto, and Hahidoka, so the Zendeben, Ben, Jono, Nasco, Yukaro, the Quig, Goshinto, Lake at a deal, Nidoyat, Eta, Hidi, Nidigi, Todenes, is only Navajo Mountain, the Adiyat, Eta, Hidi, Nidigi, Hadolis, Adosto, E. Ando, the more Yajagon, and they gallop the Kintahadi, Nagida, Arjeta, Hidil, Sesoyat, Eta, Nisadosto, late the Neba Washington, Statin Hotsogi, Benant I, Yale, Wasagik, and Vice President Kamala Harris, Dobaketa, Nes, Daigim, Tim Waltz, Eshi's Conj, Ronobik, Nahoteshne, Ade, Hostodabate, Shatit, Ohe, Dinde, Sate, Sotrade, Kehido, Todani, Zenigid, Ehodat, Enigi Ben Kaka, deal was a hot Enigi not Ani, but then Tehanoda, Beskis Nahoteshne, Eshin Hot Odolis, Ados Littonly, August 14, next week, Shinjono, Navajo Code Talkers, Nikazad Behones, Nanigi, Ehen Nipania, Ishi Adasan, Dahedo, Kasto, Navajo Nation Fairgrounds, but says Anigi, Aden, Dahona Sodolis, Eshihodo, the Nebanant, Dr. Boo Nygren, Thursday, 1 o'clock, 5:30. Hata Kisigi, Hehan, Kidini, see Yegon, Kidin, Send Ahwij, Shada in Nishigi, Jono, Yitanel, Anito, Yan, Sada, Case, not Skilon, Daho, Nahe, Noda, Shada in Nish, Shiloba, Hodano Sindole, John Lee, Adet, the Nebeke, Bakao, Tade Shada, Dohodel, Daughter, Hedo, East Seta, Noda, a hot end, the Hodon Kitchen, Nench, Tahegi, Chasi do at ende alchon del net and khodo the mona outlet alchon na nishna del yagi benkel nahashnigi eshibin nachibaho dan senel ahol to hot ron juno shihata zegi benedet satashin hot elim na si the nebenant ajlom the netakot zi to biga haket ne biga hada to ojit zaren de yita sheltken deshi to hot eleshi to opedet in sobansis kes hoji shna nish huij the ne kita honito cheta nenigidon le na nish hadnol chalto yego nardo le nora di is de bansis kes in ket salal so da biga habeta denigi stuido sanida sanado yinda tengi sanado ni nora aroltonde to the nest is the ad khadiya so tanda jono stuido sani binda tengi kalnido holjes en nidigi nit hot order bansis kes stasi biga hada jeninde hot enigi kinda nitigi beninach shtra hot eto tratnas nile da besendash nistonat an in jonobelta inishigi eshi your work speaks for itself to hat nile belagana hot order bansis kes eshi be di in kelta hallon jono na de no kato le to hehen hidini do le khodo hada okisto tashedin no sendo beninach na nish bi shwaligi do da hiado le di in kelta hallo not and nasko na de no kato le the mo na astlio shi hodon ke jana this next Thursday hagone.
Ja, het aandoshik idanothini, she emi nazba bige yinishke, but ahi nishne, nash tejetop on bashichin, hashgan has a hadashi aro kenya ani dashinella, on late for the neshe out of a carpet for the anisi nasha. Gashe Navajo pitch eke, Nakademia double on Nadine Scott, Adon Nakademia double on Nadine D Nishlin. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amy Vigay. I serve as this year's Miss Navajo Nation 2023-2024. I would just like to give just a quick update from the Office of Miss Navajo Nation. I was invited this afternoon to speak about my journey to the Paris Olympics, which I attended last week. I was very fortunate to be able to be in Paris, France, and I was invited on behalf of the Navajo Nation to represent at a global platform. And so during that time, I got to visit with a lot of the Paris Olympics Committee and also with a few athletes, and I got to attend a few of the games as well. And so I am just very grateful to have been able to travel internationally. And also, I'm just thankful for the support from Navajo Tourism, the Office of President and Vice President, and also from the legislative and judicial branch as well. And also, I would like to say thank you as well to Navajo Arts and Crafts Enterprises, as they have supported the Office of Miss Navajo Nation with our upcoming pageant as well. And I would like to give a quick update on the Miss Navajo Nation pageant. So our pageant schedule will actually be coming forth this coming week, so please keep an eye out for that. Most importantly, though, our annual Miss Navajo Nation pageant will begin with the sheep butchering contest, which will begin on September 2nd. And all events are forthcoming throughout the week, but most importantly, we will be having our Miss Navajo Nation coronation on September 7th here in Window Rock, Arizona at the Navajo Arts and Crafts Enterprise tent as well. And so just please keep a lookout for our pageant schedule, and we invite everybody to come on out and support our 6 contestants who will be vying for the title of Miss Navajo Nation. And so we will be in Gallup, New Mexico, and participating with the ceremonial events. So just please keep a lookout for our 6 contestants. And we thank you for your support, and we just wish you the very best. And I look forward to seeing you all. Thank you. Have a great week.
Good afternoon. J. Stephen Brian Edsity, Virginia. Twahe Dini Nishnaro Shihe Dishija. Uji Dishanala Twatsuke Dishche. I am the Executive Director for our Navajo Nation Environmental Protection Agency. And it is once again fair season on the Navajo Nation for our 2024 season. So I want to express my appreciation for everybody that treated us so well out in Crown Point not too long ago doing the Eastern Navajo Fair. And then this weekend we have, as Ms. Navajo mentioned, all the activities around the Gallup, New Mexico area for the annual Gallup Intertribal Ceremonial. So just want to everybody enjoy themselves and be safe. Want to update folks now on work that Navajo EPA water programs have been doing to assist homeowners with septic tank system issues. These septic tank system owners, homeowners have requested help with operations and maintenance, that is to say, clean-out services. This effort began as many chapters included these needs in their American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, chapter projects, and then they made their way into what became the delegate region allocations. This effort responds to the need heightened by the COVID-19 pandemic to improve sanitary conditions across the Navajo Nation in individual homes. Many chapters assessed and identified home septic systems in need of operation and maintenance services, and ARPA funds were directed to meet these needs. Now, Navajo EPA has a domestic wastewater program which primarily regulates over 600 sewer lagoons and business-sized septic systems under the Navajo Nation's Clean Water Act. Examples of some of these systems we regulate are BIA school sewer lagoons, public school sewer lagoons, NTUAs, community sewer lagoons, and business-sized septic tanks. Best example of that are the septic systems that serve the Flowing Water Casino in Hogback, New Mexico. Our Navajo EPA program conducts annual inspections of these systems to make sure that the systems operate properly and comply with the Navajo Nation Clean Water Act. Basically, we want to make sure that there are no discharges from these sewage systems and these lagoons. Under this program, Navajo EPA also responds to complaints and referrals that we receive that inform us of problems with home septic systems that may be failing or not working properly. We go out in response and inspect them, and then we work with the homeowners how to take corrective actions to make sure that they don't violate the Navajo Nation Clean Water Act, making sure there are no discharges or pooling of raw sewage on the surface of around their homes. So as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and the availability of ARPA funds, Navajo EPA has expanded our scope of this particular regulatory program, and we temporarily are including direct services now. In October of last year, we were assigned to assist 14 non-LGA certified chapters to develop septic system cleaning contracts that would eventually assist homeowners in those chapters. Navajo EPA is developing these professional service contracts for approximately 14 chapters who had budgeted these funds from their ARPA project funds. The septic cleaning request for proposals was advertised earlier this year, and we sought out potential contractors, and we did select one. And this vendor will be working with each of these 14 chapters. However, the contracts and the 164 review packages are pending because there were changes that happened with Navajo Nation Council passing a piece of legislation that is known as CMY 2824, which was enacted in June. This new law recaptures unobligated and recaptured funds into the general fund for revenue replacement purposes. The legislation also prioritizes the allocation of the revenue replacement general funds to delegate region projects that were deemed unobligated under the Navajo Nation's Fiscal Recovery Fund. So in this process, as I understand it now, account numbers that were in place under the prior system is now undergoing changes, basically moving from a K account designation to a general fund business unit account number designation. So when the business units are all changed and completed, our contracting process will proceed, and all these contracts will go through the 164 process. Contract can be awarded then, and then the septic system cleaning projects will start. One thing I do want to point out that while we've been focusing on helping non-LGA certified chapters, we also are open to assisting the LGA certified chapters who have budgeted some of their ARPA funds for the home septic system operation and maintenance services. And as they continue to work their way through using these new recaptured funds, we will be available to work with those chapters as well. So we made commitments before these legislative changes were put in place, and I'm here basically to tell you that we will continue to stand by those commitments under the new way we're going to be expending these funds, and hopefully help everybody get to safer and more environmentally protective septic systems for your home and for your surroundings. Thank you very much, and again, hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. I'm going in.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Effie Edsity. I'm the Executive Director for the Office of the Navajo Tax Commission. I'm a Kia'ani born for Tapaha, coming from Nashville, New Mexico. I'm originally from Nashville, New Mexico. Both my parents are from there, but I've resided here in Window Rock for quite some time. So that's who I am. And this afternoon, I'm going to report on the Navajo Nation tax revenue collections for fiscal year 2024. So just to go back a little, right now we are in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter consists of July, August, and September reportings. Of course, we're in the middle of August right now, so we have about a month and a half to still collect for fourth quarter. Right now, our total revenue generation for fourth quarter is $10,884,070. Now I'm going to break this down by tax. Sales tax, non-retail. This is going to be our construction workers, our construction companies, our consultants, engineers, basically service providers on the Navajo Nation. They contributed $8.5 million to the sales tax. Our tobacco products tax right now is sitting at $15,000. We have no collections on the possessory interest tax so far. Again, we do have another month and a half to make up that revenue. Next is going to be the oil and severance. Right now we are sitting at $67,000. The business activity tax is the same as possessory interest. We still have a month and a half to collect on that. We don't have any revenue for that tax right now. The fuel excise tax, so far we've collected $1.1 million. Our hotel occupancy tax, $97,700. Our sales retail. Now this is going to be our brick and mortar stores on the Navajo Nation, our C stores, our grocery stores, hardware stores, and establishments as those. They reported $868,280 in sales tax revenue so far. Junk food tax. So far we've collected $127,000 for this quarter. Alcohol tax, we're sitting at $16,866. So all of that will equal the $10.8 million we've collected so far for fourth quarter. Those numbers contribute to the overall total of tax that we've collected so far is $115,169,299. I'm very happy to report this number as we have exceeded our fiscal year 2024 projection. My office had projected $111 million for tax revenue fiscal year 2024. And again, so far we've collected 115 million. So we've exceeded that by about 4 million right now. And we still have a month and a half to go to collect. So I'm very happy to report that Navajo Tax Commission did meet their projection for fiscal year 2024. Now, of the numbers I reported for fourth quarter, half of that goes into the general funds. Fourth quarter so far, we've deposited 4.3 million into the general funds. So that, again, that number seems a little on the low side, but that's fine because we still have a month and a half to collect. But things to keep in mind going forward. We have a couple of tax due dates coming up. August 1st, which was last week, was our deadline to mail out our possessory interest statements. We are still working on this. Hopefully we will be able to get that out into the mail before the end of the month. Business activity tax, our oil and severance tax, tobacco products tax, sales tax are all due to our office on August 15. So on August 15, we are expecting a return and a payment along with that. The hotel occupancy tax is going to be due September 30th. Our July fuel tax is due to our office on August 20th, and this is going to be for the distributors. They file and pay tax on the fuel distributed on the Navajo Nation. That's due to our office on August 20th. Liquor tax is also due in September 20th. So keep that on your calendar for those who report the liquor tax to our office. One of the things that I wanted to mention, and this is actually a hot topic in our office right now, is taxpayers. All 9 of our business taxes are self-reporting, which means taxpayers are responsible for filing and paying that tax to our office. There are some occasions where we have businesses who contract with the Navajo Nation, and OOC will do a withholding on their payments for the Navajo sales tax. Yes, the monies does get withheld at OOC, but it still has to get reported to our office. And that's where the forms and filings come in. So taxpayers, please be sure you submit your forms and payments to our office. If not, records of check stubs. Check stubs will have the withholdings on there. So you would photocopy that and attach it to return and then get it to our office. Otherwise, when my tax compliance officers pull open these files, it'll appear that no tax has been filed or collected, and that's usually not the case. And so just make sure if you need any assistance, if you have any questions, please call my office, 928-871-6681, and ask to speak to a tax compliance officer. We have them all assigned to different letters of the alphabet. So you'll be assigned a certain tax compliance officer who will help you every step of the way. And let's see, you can also visit our website. It's tax.navajo-nsn.gov. We have all of our statutes and regulations, all of our requirements, all of our forms on the website. Again, I would recommend that you give our office a call and speak to a tax compliance officer to make sure we get in your forms and tax payments on time. And the reason why this is such a huge issue is our office does assess for late filings and late payments and underpayments. And we also assess interest on any outstanding balances. And those numbers add up very quick. We do have an appeals process, and of course that involves we have to set up a conference. There are remedies to it. We can do payment plans, but we do need you to communicate with our office and to make sure we get you back on track. Some other items I'm working on for this year, of course, the tobacco products tax. That one's a finished project. I'm excited and happy to report that one is off my desk. It is now being reviewed further, and hopefully legislation will drop on that. And just as a reminder for the tobacco products tax, we had increased tax rates on that, and it also is to include the electronic smoking devices is also included in that. Other items I'm working on, the renewable energy tax. This is going to include wind and solar energy projects. In addition, I'm trying to make I'm working on the document right now to cover both solar and wind. I'm trying to make it work for most renewable energy companies. And lastly, the document has to be written to where we are competitive with our neighboring states. I'm confident that I can find a solution to this problem. We'll be able to draft or edit the proposed legislation. Right now, I'm working on incentives for the companies to bring businesses onto the Navajo Nation, but I have to be very careful with that because with those incentives, the Navajo Nation will essentially have to give up some area in that, and I want to make sure that it is balanced to where it is. It'll benefit both entities on that. Another project I have is to revise the tax statutes and regulations. Some of these documents have been in place since the late 1970s, and they could use some updates. A lot of them are like in reference to filing hard copies of returns and payments, checks and money orders and things like that. But with today's technology, I don't see why we can't do e-filing or payments online. So that's one of my initiatives to get that up and running for the nation and to make it easier for our taxpayers to file and pay their taxes to the office. Internally, personnel, I do have one vacancy right now for the senior mineral specialist position. This is the person who is responsible for the possessory interest tax. I will be advertising that soon. We have over 5,000 taxpayers registered with our office, and this number grows daily. So I will be budgeting for more positions to keep up with this growing number. Lastly, I wanted to thank my staff at ONTC for all of their hard work and dedication. It is not easy to collect taxes. So for the administration, my support team, Elisa, Chastity, and Raquel, thank you so much for all of your hard work. My accounting team right now, I have Stanley Sandoval there. Thank you for keeping up with all of the daily deposits that we have. My auditors, Lawrence, Laverne, Regina, and Edward, thank you for your hard work and traveling, going out into the field and doing field audits on our taxpayers to make sure that they are in compliance with our office. My compliance team, I'm very happy to report that we hired 2 new tax compliance officers, building up my compliance team finally. I have Tania and Cheryl, Cynthia, Denisha, and Zathina. Thank you for all your hard work and going through, daily, just going through each one of those files and getting our taxpayers informed and in compliance with our office. And I have 4 temporary employees. I have Shania, Aiden, Emily, and Tanisha. Thank you for your hard work. My temporary employees are working on record retention. They are scanning and storing documents electronically, and that turned into a huge project on its own. So thank you very much for all of your hard work.